All right, welcome everybody to the next in our series of Meet the Marketplace Vendor. And today we've got Veronica from Digital Toucan, who's going to tell us about OKRs for Jira. So take away, Veronica.
Hello, everybody. Hi, so I'm Veronica, and I'm product lead in Digital Toucan, which is a platinum marketplace partner. And we get a couple of products. You probably know GQL search extensions by now. And today we're gonna talk about a bit about the OKR plugin. So let me start with telling a bit about the OKRs themselves first. I got a short presentation, so let me just share my screen. And there we are. Okay, so the OKRs. What are OKRs? So OKRs are a goal setting methodology. They are, I would say they are better KPIs. They consist of two parts: the objective, which is like very probably long-term goal. It's usually annual, could be also quarterly. Um, it's something that is aspirational, not very concrete, but something that is supposed to like lead the whole company or the whole team towards something they want to achieve. And then we have key results. So key results needs to be measurable, they need to be very specific, they need to be time bound, they need to be exactly the things that lead to they're on the way basically to reaching the objective. Mm, so for example, if we would have the objective of we want to get to the top three mm, apps on the marketplace, let's say. One of the key results could be, for example, to generate 20,000 website views. It's very concrete, very measurable, and we know that it can impact reaching the objective as well. Um, right now, the OKR, the interest in OKR is growing a lot. We can see on the past few years on the graph um, that companies were like they started to use OKRs in the past 2 years, but recently it has grown a lot and it's getting more and more popular, mostly among the tech companies, but also among the other companies, usually getting through some kind of like digital transformation, agile transformation. Mm, that's why we decided to create a product like that. Mm.
And Veronica, how do OKRs differ from KPIs? Because I kind of see KPIs as almost being that waterfall approach, and OKR being a more agile approach. And as we sort of see or is more allowing of the agile approach. And I think it's almost, you can see that graph as you're seeing agile take place. But what are your thoughts around KPIs versus OKRs?
Well, the OKRs come with the whole culture as well. So with the OKRs, you have to have a coach overlooking the process. You have to have the review meetings, like the planning phase, summary phase. Um, so it's like it's very well tied in the agile, as you told. You have to review what you've set, and if something is not like valid anymore, if the target is not like reachable anymore, you can adjust it. With the KPIs, you would just leave it there probably. um, Also OKRs are engaging the whole team, the whole company on different levels. So as for the KPIs, it will be probably with something set by the management. The OKR should be created by the whole team, all the people. There is so-called bi-directional approach. to the OKRs, where the highest level management, they set the company level goals, but then the teams or like any other structure that is just like above level above below the company level, they decide how they want to approach those goals set by the management, so they can decide what are their goals. And so it goes like down to the very like deepest level of the company, right? So um, it's engaging everyone. It's um, it demands participation basically. So it's not
Mm.
just a target set, it's a whole culture implemented in the company that is supposed to not only help you reach what you want to reach, but also to like engage people in the process.
Yeah, absolutely. Because it feels like with KPI, sometimes it feels like it's set by an
Yes,
accountant or some bean counter, where, obviously the management will have some idea about the objectives and they can collaborate with the teams about those objectives. But then who's going to be better to explain um, or to come up with ideas and concepts to achieve those objectives than the people who are actually close to the coalface? Yeah.
exactly.
And that's why you're seeing that
Mm.
graph, ladies and gentlemen. So.
Yeah. So actually, a bit about how OKRs can help companies. So as I mentioned, if OKRs engage the whole company, there is like the sense of going together in the same direction. Also, OKRs should be transparent, so that like everybody in the company should have access to it. So you should be able to see how what you do contribute to the higher level goals of the company. Mm, Also, the OKRs increase collaboration. So if you are able to set your own goals or to decide how you want to support the team's goals, the company goals, um, the teams also collaborate together on different goals. For example, marketing could collaborate with sales on some goals that impact the department level goals. Um, and OKRs are also like they work best if they are like if there are just a few of them. So you need to decide during the planning phase what is the most important for the company, and just not try to be like diluted over like overreaching everything. You need to decide very well so it creates like focus in the company and in the teams as well. Mm, also, I mentioned motivation before, but like generally all of that, like engaging people, focusing on things, reviewing the goals regularly. Um, Basically, it helps to achieve business results better than like with any other methodology so far.
It just
Mm,
seems so much more flexible than KPIs. And then you can have individual OKRs for individuals in a team based on that individual, as opposed to a KPI, which is again sort of decided elsewhere that doesn't tailor for the team or the individual and what they can potentially contribute.
yeah. Mm, our app is is supposed to bring two worlds together. So the business and the strategy we implemented in Jira. So we bring the strategy to the teams which actually do the work, and that helps the management level to see how people work on the like on the tasks that the teams have set for themselves, and see how they align to the goals. And the people that work on the tasks in Jira, they can see how they work contribute to the whole strategy team, so it engages them a bit more. Um, it's also really easy to use. It's really easy to see the alignment between different levels of the company. So like personal, team, department level, company level. It's all there, very transparent. Um, so you can see like the whole company structure of the goals including the work being done in Jira.
And I'll just challenge the audience. Has anyone ever seen the KPI map for an organization where you can understand how the KPIs of an individual lead into a team, lead into your group of teams, to your department, how that interlinks with other departments and how that rolls up? Never. Well, I haven't, but maybe you have. So go on. Sorry.
Yeah. Also, in our solution, there is an option to automate some progress tracking. So if some work being done impacts the key results, for example, a tech team could have key results for decreasing the number of bugs in the system, and they can connect the tickets related to bugs and then create an automated key result. And after each bug is closed, the progress will be updated for them. So that's a easy way to like streamline some processes to save some time probably as well. Mm, and we also help not only with the solution, but we help with the rollout of the OKRs. So we work with the clients on onboarding the teams, helping them structure OKRs if they need to. So it's like the whole package basically. And right now I'd like to show you a bit around the tool. So let me just share a different screen.
It's interesting the transparency that Atlassian can bring to an organization. Because yeah, when you can link the work to the goals, to the strategy, to the bugs, to the post-go live support.
Yeah, it can be there like all together. So here you can see um, the um, the most important probably screen in the app, where you can see the whole hierarchy of the goals. Here in the example, I have example from Star Wars, so I hope you like Star Wars. There is the company
Who
level,
doesn't?
the company level goal, to which the team level goal contributes. In this case, we have the overall goal to abolish the empire, and 3 teams working on helping to reach that goal. So we have strategy team, which wants to organize the rebellion, and then they have the key results that they've set for themselves. So on this example, we can also see well how it works with the OKRs. In order to organize the rebellion, they decided, the strategy team, to gather squads of rebellions, at least 5 planets, gather 100 spaceships ready to help, and find 5 people to lead the rebellion. So those are the things that they think after reaching them, they are gonna reach the objective as well. And it's all very measurable. So they can track the progress every week, every 2 weeks, every month, and see how it progresses.
And that's how we kind of see the KPI component of this turn up. Like there's actual numbers
Yes.
there. So we're going for a key performance indicator, but it's shaped very much around the particular objective at the time, and it changes. So being able to flex on this is one of the beauties of this approach.
Yeah, that's true. As you can see, this is the board for a particular cycle. People work usually in quarters. There is also practice of setting the OKRs for a year, but then they would be probably company level goals, and then department and teams, they would work on the quarterly basis, because it's fairly hard to come up with good OKRs for the whole year, or maybe even 3 years, which is the case usually with the KPIs. Am I right? Mm, so on the board, there are some things you can see. The board itself, it's very customizable, so you can decide what you see. But the basic things would be the teams. So for each goal, there will be a team responsible, and then there is an owner, so the person that is accountable for delivering the goal. We also have things like status and progress. So the practice with the OKRs is to update the goals and review them collaboratively with a team or in the company if it's a small company every sometime. So for example, if we were right now to update the goals, we could just go here. We can post an update, mm, and then we could say that, okay, we found two more people. We now have two more squads, sorry. Right now we have three, and we are still on track. And there we go, right? And that way we can update every key result. Also, the practice is to update the objective as well, and kind of summarize what's going on within the key results at the particular moment. Mm, as I mentioned, there are some customization options in here. There are some columns you can see. You can decide what you want to see, in which order. Very easy to set up. Also, nice feature is that right here you see basically everything, right? So in the case of a bigger organization, it's going to be a lot of OKRs. So to make it easier for teams or any other level in a company review their OKRs, you can of course filter it, but then apart from filtering, you can save it, and it's gonna create like a sub dashboard based on the general one. And here easily you can switch between different saved views. So uh, there we have like strategy, but we see that there are also research, right? So we can switch between the research team and the strategy team really easily. Um, Also, creation of the OKR itself, it's really simple. Mm, I can probably skip the objective, but I'm gonna show you the key results because we have two types of key results. Mm, there is a form for our purpose. I'm just gonna name it OKR. And yeah, two types of key results. So the first one is manual, which means that you decide on a star value and desired value yourself. And then there is a unit as well. And after you create it, you can also connect Jira issues to it, but they're gonna be there just like for reference. You can observe how they progress, but they won't impact the progress. You have to go into the key result and update the progress yourself. With the automated one, however, you define a JQL query, and based on the query, we connect the issues matching the query now and in the future, and they're gonna determine the progress for the key result. And for this purpose right now, I can probably create the automated one. Maybe let's say that the whole project is something we want to track. Have three issues, perfect, and okay. We also right
And
now,
that's just going to link to closure of those issues or
yeah,
resolution of those issues. Yeah.
status category.
Okay.
But I'm gonna show you it's in a while. Mm, there also when we create things, we decide on a period as well. There is the owner, right? We also can add collaborators, so people who also collaborate on the goal, but are not like the person accountable for it. Let's say we're gonna add one person. Um, you can also tag the goal any type of like objective and key result with a label. So it could be anything like area in the company, a strategy pillar, name of the project, anything that it's like can distinguish this one goal from the other one, and you would use it somehow. And there's also ways so you can decide on the contribution of this particular key result to the objective. And now if we would go to the key result we created, mm, you can see that right now the current value is already 1 and we are on 33%. That's because we have 3 issues, right? And 1 is done. So for every key result, when we have some issues linked, you would have them on this board, and you can observe like their progression between different statuses. Um, those are, as I mentioned, status categories. Now the statuses. So if you have like 5 types of in progress, it would still go to in progress. But what counts really for the automated one is when the issue goes to done, and then there is this progress update created by our robot token bots, which informs you about the progress change. And also in the activity, um, you can see what are the issues connected, and when something changes on the issue, it's also gonna appear there. Um, Also, inside the Jira itself, we add this field, OKRs. And if you go there, you are able to see all the links to all the OKRs that are connected to it. And also you're able to connect it to any other OKR. So if you're just like browsing through issues and want to add something to anything, any OKR that it's already created, you just click here and choose the objective, choose key result, and then create a new link to the OKR. So you can do it like both ways. Um, Inside the app itself, there is also detail page where you can track the progress more granularly. And for both objectives and the key results, you would have the history of status changes here. So that's the good thing about having an app, that it allows you to keep everything organized and track the whole history. Because many people start with doing OKRs in an Excel spreadsheet, and then it's kind of gets a bit messy after a few weeks, as people, they just delete the previous status and add a new one, but you cannot track how it all changed. What was the history of the goal, like why we are here at the moment. And with this kind of solution, you have that visibility. Mm, so here, for example, we can see all the contributing items, right? And if we wanted to see, for example, uh, we can see that there is some change, right? So okay, so what changed? And yeah, we can see that like there was an update created by Veronica, and the progress on that. Perfect, right? Um, Also inside the app, we have this view, which is a tree view, and shows you the whole structure in a tree form. For a company, it could be a bit too much, so we can do it by team and have a smaller chunk. I heard from our users that they like it a lot for presentations and the review meetings as well.
Yep.
Just in a really nice like visual form. They can just take a screenshot, put it in the presentation, use it for reporting. Also, we try to help with the process with the app, and we have notifications about like reminding people to update their OKRs every now and then, right? The period they choose. Because the thing that is very difficult for people at the beginning of the OKRs, it's like actually remembering that there are some OKRs set, and it's really nice to like review them before the quarter ends. It's a very, very common problem. So if the system helps you with that, then it's probably a nice thing, right?
And it is quite a big change for, I guess, your end user. They're going from KPIs, where this report is, versus something that's far more sort of flexible and far more engaging. And it does require to provide an update from time to time. And again, interestingly, from a management point of view, we want the update as soon as possible. So we'd set it for weekly or whatever. And yeah, it's trying to build the practice of data integrity into the team. And it's not just, keeping the comments up to date or the status up to date on the ticket or, all the comments. It's also making sure that we're reporting back on how we're progressing against our objectives. Because we can all see when a ticket is closed, but it's not always that simple about how we're achieving our objectives.
Yeah, that's true. When, for example, updating the OKR, let's say the OKR would be to deliver 3 new features this quarter. When writing the update status, you could, for example, describe how the work on each feature is progressing. You could link the tickets that are created in Jira regarding those features. You could describe the problems you're facing. Um, Anything really that is like connected to the whole process and gives the others, so both the management but also other teams, visibility into what is going on in this particular project.
Yeah, because how else can the organisation react or assist if they're not informed that there's a challenge going on in that area?
Yeah. And that gives us a nice link to the progress dashboards, because in the progress dashboards, I'm gonna do it for the whole company. Of course, you can see like the overall progress and like the statuses of different objectives and key results. But also, what is very important, I think, we list things that are off track and at risk. Just write their own dashboards, and it's a way for people to know early if something is not right. So they have to take some action on it. So if they observe that, okay, like in my team, for example, research team, like, okay, everything is fine, we don't have anything off track, anything at risk. But if you go to whole company, oh, there is something at risk, right? So what happened there? I can just go to the detail page of this particular key result and see like why it is not progressing, review the history, review the tickets connected if there are some.
What's your philosophical view, Veronica, on if you're achieving all your OKRs and you've got nothing that you're not achieving or is at risk, have you underset the goals? Because if you're achieving them easily or they're all in the green, maybe you didn't set them aggressively enough. What are your thoughts on how much should be on track versus not? What was there was at risk? I can't remember the third one, but it was in trouble.
Well, I'm not sure that like there should be a particular number of things that are going, right or not, not so much. But the general practice is to aim on 70 to 80% of completion when you are setting the OKR. So there will be some part of the value for key results to be like stretched a little bit, so that you will feel more motivated. Um, so when the grading part comes, um, if something is not 100%, but it's like around 70 to 80, it's still a success of OKRs. They should be a bit more ambitious than general goals. Mm, and when setting them, yeah, people generally they shouldn't aim for 100% nor for 150. Mm,
Yeah.
and that's why OKRs should not be like tied directly to performance management and to like compensation and bonuses, because then people would just like set their goals too low, right? To get a bonus, for example. Um,
And that
which
often
isn't
happens with KPIs. You achieve that
yes,
KPI, you get the bonus, and then someone's just fixated on this one thing to the detriment of everything else. So yeah, I've seen
yeah,
that before.
exactly. Like the OKR should be more about the strategy and like motivating everyone to help the company itself. So we should set more ambitious goals. Of course, not too ambitious, not like from the other galaxy, um, but still something that it's kind of feasible, but it's gonna be difficult to go there. There needs to be some plan, mm, so that like people on a team would be motivated in a good way. So it should be like a sweet spot between like too easy and too difficult, because
Mm.
that's where people feel most motivated, right? So there is some challenge.
Yeah, they've got to be
And
challenged. I think that's the word there. There's got to be a bit of a challenge, but yeah, if you don't make it 100%, it's not the end of the world. It's about more about having a go and seeing how far we can move in this direction. Um, yeah, and if we get 70, 80%, then it's a win.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Mhm. um
All right. What else would you like to show us, Veronica?
well, I can show you maybe the new thing that we added, which is the permissions. Because I know that, of course, OKRs should be transparent and they should be visible to everyone. But if the organization is really big, there could be like some mess around who updates what. And so we came up with the solution for example, allowing to limit the global settings. So bigger organization would have, usually they will have somebody like an OKR coach or agile coach guiding the whole OKR process. And then there could be a person who sets up the teams, the levels, the periods inside the tool, and basically he prepares the tool for the whole company, and then the people there, they are just updating and creating new goals, and that's it, right? They don't have to care about the settings. Mm, Also, for example, some companies that we come across, they wanted to set up this more granularly, or to, for example, base the permissions on the OKR ownership, so-called. Uh, so with that solution, people can determine, for example, that only the OKR owner can edit things, add tickets, update the goal, add sub objectives, for example, mm, which is which kind of like really helps in organizing the whole process. Because for example, with 1,000 people in a tool and everybody having their goals, it's also easy to have some mistakes, to like some goals being deleted by somebody else because it sounds a bit similar to something. And that helps to stay organized organized and saved with the data this that is already in the tool. So that's probably also a nice addition.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. And probably that's like more or less it from the tool itself. I can also mention that we've been going on for about 2 years right now with the app. And so far we gathered around 900 customers. I mean, 900 companies using us. Among them, some bigger ones, like for example, Global, which is like a news media company from Brazil, Hewlett Packard, and like some other bigger organization. So we are prepared for both small, medium-sized, and big companies. Just because like there is this ability to like keep it small, keep the small structure, but also create anything from the top level to the personal level, and it's still like simple enough to get you this like view of what's needed, right?
Well, it's all sitting in the Atlassian world, which makes it a lot easier for so many ways. And yeah, it's certainly a big world out there in terms of amount of clients that potentially could utilize this. And I think what your graph that you were showing before, just in terms of the interest in OKRs, I think it's one of those things. It's kind of lagging behind Agile, but Agile took its time as well, so it's just got to be patient. But yeah, I think the ability to bring performance tracking into the platform in a way that embraces an Agile methodology just creates a huge opportunity for organizations to achieve their objectives and empower their teams and have a data-driven approach that's not sitting in Excel or some analytics tool that no one can see. Yeah, wow. Awesome stuff. All right, is there any final points you'd like to add?
Not really. I think that was mostly it from my side. Also, having this app a part of Jira, it helps people on a team with onboarding, right? Because it looks just like another part of Jira. It sits right there in the apps, so it's really easy to add it as a part of your workflow if you're already using Jira.
It's just a new set of screens within the work environment. Yeah, how exciting. All right, well, yeah, I'm sure we're going to do well. And yeah, we hear more and more about OKRs. And yeah, I think there will be a tipping point sooner rather than later where yeah, there's a realization that there's a better way to do things in terms of tracking our results and communicating with the staff and the management about what's actually supposed to be achieved and where it's at. So thanks very much for your time today, Veronica. That was really good. Yeah, we've learned a lot about OKRs for Jira. So yeah, anybody out there, if you're interested in finding out more about OKRs and OKR for Jira for OKRs, or OKR for Jiras, geez, please reach out to Design Industries or to Digital Toucan. They'll be able to assist as well. And we'll get you up and running, get a trial going, get some example OKRs in there, see how it works. It's not that hard, and yeah, it certainly changes the dynamic when it comes to reporting and all of that. So, and incentivizing and making sure the team know where the goals are. It's such a tricky thing. All right, thanks very much, Veronica. Enjoy the rest of your day and appreciate your time. Thank you.